Hello everyone, welcome to a quick for science, because Tristan has found a problem in what we did in the stream, and I will show you what we did in the stream in a summary video, which I will record separately. But I'll explain the problem here. So we were trying to get some plates going. Plates take a while to compress in our current thingy. So what I've got here is I've got a compactor, which is how we're making plates, but I've upgraded it to resonant. So this will go really, really quickly, just to show the issue. And I've also prepared a pattern, which will create one red alloy plate with one red alloy ingot. And I've also created, get rid of that, an infinite supply of red alloy ingots so that we can test it. The problem was that whenever the interface crafted a plate, it wouldn't know that the plate was crafted. Now, this is a problem that we had with the semi-automatic crafting. We had to get the thing into the system in order to export it again so that the system knew that it had finished being created. I think this is a similar problem, but along a completely different vein. Let me show you how it works. We need a crafting pattern as well, actually. Crafting card. Let's get a crafting card. So if we put this in here, this will now craft anything that you ask it to make. So the first thing I'm actually going to do is get a red alloy plate, a stack of these. So if this is doing this, this is trying to put a stack of red alloy plates in the interface's extra face, which we've seen before. That's how the other things were working. That's how the semi-automatic crafting was working. So anything that's in the system will be game for being exported to that. So if I put this in here, it's immediately going away, and the reason it's gone away is it's now in here. This can now be piped out using normal things. This compactor is the manner by which you create such things. So I've put if I put in here now this pattern, we now know how to craft red alloy plates. But you notice nothing is happening, no crafting jobs are active, unless I put this in here, and this is now going to try to create, and it's actually going to successfully create these. Now, I haven't told this how to leave yet, so this is stuck in the system, stuck in the machine. I think the problem is that because this is trying to fill this up with an item, if I tell this to export into there, when you export stuff, it goes into the inventory and then gets absorbed into the system. Except if that interface is asking for those items to be in its inventory, it won't pull it into the system and export it again, it'll just leave it there. So if I tell this to stop accepting stuff, and then here we're going to do import and export. So these are going in here now. My theory is that it doesn't know that they've completed crafting because they haven't been into the system and out again. It's still crafting 64. If I put 32 of those in here, oops, it's now crafting 29. Why? If you like. This is stopped, right? So all 64 red alloy ingots went in there. Why? Be silent. Went into the machine, turned into plates, and came out again. They went into here, they didn't go into here. So this is still waiting for 32 or 29 for some reason. I don't really understand that particular mathematical oddity. Now it's waiting for no. Right. So that basically proves it. So let's borrow this interface. Let's make a new one, basically. Put this here. And instead of outputting and inputting on the same side, I'm going to input on that side and output on that side. So that's that one. This one doesn't need an arrow because it's not telling it which direction. The arrow tells it which direction to insert items in order to achieve stuff. So this is going to put them in here, export them out of there, and then they're going to go into the system and immediately appear here. Watch. Those are the ones I put in. They don't count. So now you're creating, see how each one disappears? Boop. And they are appearing in here, but it's going down. One at a time. So this is going down one at a time, because every time they go into here, the system goes, you've made it, I'll put it in the system. So you can't put it in the same interface that you're requesting it from. So for science number 2, I'll be back in a second. Okay, for science number 2 has pretty much already solved itself. My question was, does this remember which side it went into? I've configured them both to input and output, but I'm only inputting from the top. I wanted to know if it knew if you input from the top, does it then output to the top? But it seems to be alternating between them, because this one has now got basically as many as this one has in it. That's no use. That was an idea that I had, but that's not going to work. So the idea there was that if you had two interfaces either side of a block pointing at that block, like this, then if I ask for steel plates in here, but put the recipe in here, and ask for red alloy plates in here, but put the recipe in here, then if it knew which side it came into via, then it would put it out the same side. And if it did that, then asking for red alloy pattern, asking for a red alloy plate would mean that it would go in this side, get made, go out that side, through the system and into there, which would count as being crafted. But it doesn't. Half of them are going to go into there and half of them are going to go into there, which means some of them will be crafted, but not all of them. So that's no good. So what we're going to end up doing, I think, well, there's two ways of doing it now. A, you just have another place where the crafting happens, which is what we originally did. So that's what have I done? Never mind. What I originally did was to have an export bus and these things here. Tristan said, don't bother, basically. And he's right. And the reason he's right is that it's still expensive. Whatever you do, you need one of these slots for the pattern, right? So it doesn't matter where they go and how you store them and all that malarkey. You still need as many interfaces, 9 times as few interfaces as there are patterns. So as soon as you get your 10th pattern, you still need a second interface, whether or not you're storing them here or there. So the only difference there is that this can do a stack at a time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 9 stacks, right? So if you wanted to keep 4 stacks of red alloy plates, that would take 4 of these. That it seems kind of rare. As opposed to one of those, right? So it'd be 1 slot for the pattern, but it would be 4 slots for holding them. So what you could do there is maybe have a big thing for some of them, but the actual saving on interfaces by doing it that way is low. It is nothing if you've only got 1 slot for each, which is where we were starting at. Even if you've only got 2 slots for some of them. So I think what we do is we have all the interfaces required to make the patterns, and maybe we do a contraption like this where the interface goes up there, like that, and you can have several interfaces doing that, 1, 2, 3, multiple on the same chest, all but the bottom one, in fact. And you can have another interface here, which is simply the output, and you can have a bank of these, as many of these as you want. So this will pulling into all of those, and they will all export and go into there. The reason it'll go into there, by the way, is that these have servos on them, which means they're pulling downwards. And therefore, you can't push up into them. Some of them, you might be tempted to go, hey, wait a minute, won't this try to put the... Because the pipe will try to put the ingot into here. Yeah, it would. So that's what the dense ones are for. Like this, right? So if you put a dense item duct here, that path is now way longer than any path that you can put over here. So you can have all of those machines. Boom, 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 boom. Yeah? They're even configured the same. That's neat. You can have all their machines like that, if you wanted to, and then this one is still further away. So that duct will put things into there as much as possible, and then they will come out and go into there because they're not allowed into there. Capiche? Brilliant. So that's one way of doing it. Of course, you could, like I say, you can have 6, except for 1, so 5 of these, which is 45 plates before you have to worry about a second chest. So I think we'll do it that way. So my forscience here was, can we do it the way that I was trying to do it? No. No, you can't. But let's keep it simple, stupid. We'll make another room or something for an array of these things. And this parallelizes our power of pressing plates. So, we could wait forever if we wanted to. Because one of the things that you could do with the export bus is to round robin it, so it'll make that plate, then it'll make that plate, then it'll make that plate, one at a time. So you just have a small supply of all of them. This means that you can just create 5 at once, although we're going to run out of room to craft them because we've only got 4 crafting CPUs. Which we can also solve by having a subnet with its own crafting CPU on it, but we'll deal with that another time. So that's my forscience for today. Thanks for watching. Look out for the stream summary where I actually have a look at where this is in situ and the problem and potentially the solution if Tristan's already done it. And I'll see you next time. Ta-ta!